Good, y'all. It's your boy Wwe. Let's talk about last night's episode of Friday Night Smackdown. First off, let me start off by saying this was a very star-studded episode of Smackdown. Randy Orton was there. CM Punk was there. John Cena was there. LA Knight, was there. Jacob Fatu was there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Triple H for actually using the stars on his roster to make a good show, man, because most of the time SmackDown is so boring, right? It's like a 3-hour show now, and usually after the first hour I turn this shit off, right? But last night it was a pretty decent episode. I loved the main event. I loved the segment between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. And overall, man, I'm going to go ahead before we even get into what happened last night. I'm going to give this episode of SmackDown a solid 7.5 out of 10, man. It was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it. I was entertained. All of the matches were pretty solid, right? So we start off SmackDown with LA Knight basically coming out to the ring to call out Seth Rollins. But instead of Seth Rollins coming out, I don't even think Seth Rollins was there last night. Because he didn't show up at all, which means he probably wasn't there, right? So Paul Heyman ends up coming out. And, while Paul Heyman is speaking, LA Knight cuts him off and tells Paul to shut up and get to your damn point. So Paul says that he's the biggest LA Knight fan in the WWE and says, I've been waiting a long time to say this. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I never thought Paul Heyman would be a fan of LA Knight. I never thought that. So I was very surprised to hear that from Paul Heyman. So Paul goes on to tell Knight to get out of Michigan before something bad happens to him, right? Obviously, he's indicating that Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed is in the building, and if he doesn't leave, they're going to do something to him, right? So LA Knight basically, since Seth Rollins doesn't come out, LA Knight challenges Paul Heyman to a fight, which I thought was very corny because, I mean, at the end of the day, why are you trying to fight an obese 50, 60 something year old Paul Heyman, right? We all know in real life or in wrestling, LA Knight would absolutely squash Paul Heyman. And I thought it was pretty corny for LA Knight to act like he's gonna fight Paul Heyman, right? Like, I thought that was very corny. And LA Knight, you're usually better at the mic than that, bro. You could have thought of something way clever to say than to try to have a one-on-one match with Paul Heyman's fat ass, right? So anyway, Paul Heyman runs out the ring. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed comes out to pretty much jump LA Knight. LA Knight is able to, get a steel chair and pretty much beat their ass with the steel chair. And they pretty much ran out the ring, and Paul Heyman pretty much tells them to calm down and that they're going to get him later on, right? So later on, Nick Aldis basically tells Bronson Reed he has a one-on match with LA Knight. Yeah. So next we have the first official match of the night, which is Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. I call her Asuka, right? Now listen, we all know that Asuka is going to win this match for a numerous amount of reasons. Obviously, they're pushing Asuka because she just came back from being out of the ring for over a year. They pretty much look at her as a future WWE Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? And it's obvious that she's probably going to end up winning King of the Ring. Now, does she deserve it in my opinion? Hell no. I feel like people that have been active, people that have been wrestling week after week deserve it. I just don't understand how you can be out of the ring for a year, right? Whether you have an injury or not, bro. If you're out of the ring for a year and you come back, you should earn, right? You should earn beating viable opponents. Like Alexa Bliss is one of the most popular young female stars on the roster right now, right? And I feel like she needed this match more than Asuka needed it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Asuka, she goes for the middle drop missile, but she misses. Alexa Bliss hits a sick DDT, but doesn't get the 3 count. Asuka counters the Twisted Bliss and hits the Empress Impact and wins the match, as I predicted. And like I said, I'm predicting Asuka to win the Women's King of the Ring, right? So I just don't get how after taking the year off, she can win 2 back-to-back matches like this over people that deserve it and need it more than she does, right? So it's looking like this Women's King of the Ring shit is going to be a complete joke. So anyway, backstage, Chelsea Green, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair pretty much argue about who should be the Queen of the Ring. Charlotte calls out Chelsea for a match. And then next, Aleister Black comes out for a match with Kit Wilson. But R-Truth, who's now known as R-Killings, he completely interrupts the match and beats the shit out of Kit Wilson. Pretty much puts him in the STF to the point where security has to come out and stop Ron Killings from doing this. And this makes absolutely no sense. Like, he pretty much did it and then grabs the mic and calls out John Cena. What was the point of this? You completely scraped Aleister Black's one-on-one match with Kit Wilson because you have Ron Killings act like a maniac, right? It just didn't make any sense to me. It kind of pissed me off, and I'm kind of concerned about where they're going with Ron Killings' character, right? Like, especially due to the fact that he ended up, winning his match with John Cena by disqualification, which pretty much ruins this intimidating, dominating character that Ron Killings has been portraying himself to be. It seems like he's still a jobber like R-Truth was, right? So anyway, backstage, Aleister Black calls out Ron Killings for ruining his match. Ron told Aleister Black it was nothing personal and had nothing to do with him. That makes absolutely no sense. How are you going to ruin this guy's match and then tell him it has nothing to do with him? You ruined the match that he had with Kit Wilson by beating him up, right? So Damian Priest interrupts and tells Black, let me talk to Ron. Damian tells Ron he can't do that and he should go back to, being how R-Truth was and put all of that negative energy towards his one-on-one match with John Cena. After this, he says, after you win your match with John Cena, they can go and celebrate and have drinks together, blah, 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 right? So next, Cody Rhodes comes out to give a promo, but before he starts talking, Jey Uso comes out, 4 letters, 1 word, yeet. Now, guys, I noticed this, right? When Jey Uso came out, he got a way bigger pop than when Cody Rhodes came out, right? And this is proof in the pudding, in my opinion, that Jay should have never lost this belt to Gunther, bro. This guy is like hands down the biggest star on the main roster right now on both shows, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. Jey Uso is pretty much looking like the face of the company right now, right? Obviously, that's Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns, he doesn't show up. Jey Uso had that Michigan crowd on fire last night, bruh. He came out, he yeeted. Then when he was about to start talking, the fans made him yeet again, so he went and did it again. And when Cody Rhodes came out, like I said, when Cody Rhodes came out, he got a big pop as well, but compared to Jey Uso, it was nothing. And, I still have a feeling that Cody is going to end up winning that match against Jey on Monday Night Raw. But let's be honest, guys. If we're going with who the fans like more, Jey Uso should definitely win King of the Ring and get a chance to get his title back from Gunther. But with Triple H running things, we all know that this is most likely not going to happen, right? So anyway, Jey ends up grabbing the mic and he tells Cody they both been through the trenches together, basically helping each other out when they needed each other. And he says on Monday, it's only going to be room for one of them, right? He says he knows it ain't personal. He says on Monday, after the match, after him and Cody go to war, please believe it's going to be 4 letters, 1 word, yeet. And then Cody daps up Jey, and then Sami Zayn comes out. When Sami Zayn came out, y'all, the crowd went completely dead. And let's be honest, guys, Sami Zayn is a jobber, right? I know a lot of people out there like Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn at this point, he's a complete fucking joke. He ended up losing this match with Randy Orton, which we'll get into later on in the video. But do you guys honestly ever see Sami Zayn winning a major world title? I just don't see it happening, bro. I don't. I don't know why he's so heavily pushed. Me personally, I think Sami Zayn is a dork. I think the best part of his character was when he beat Gunther. But other than that, bro, I'm not a fan of Sami Zayn. I know a lot of people are. But I just don't get how, so many people prop this guy up like he's a big deal. Anyway, so Sami says it's great to get in the ring and share the ring with his friends, because Cody and Jey and Sami are all pretty cool with each other. So Sami points out he's the only one out of the 3 that hasn't won a world title. Sami says that Cody finished his story, and now it's time for Sami to finish his story. And then the legend killer Randy Orton comes out. I hear voices in my head, they talk to me. So Randy tells Cody he will cross any line to get his 15th world title, which he already said before. He said that last week. And then Randy tells Jey Uso he respects the hell out of him. Their families go way back. But he says if they fight, it won't be 4 letters, 1 word. It'll be 3 letters, 1 move. RKO, right? Shout out to Randy Orton, man. That was very smooth. And once again, man, to all of the younger wrestlers on the roster, take notes. Even Jey Uso, take notes from the legends like Randy Orton on how to talk on the mic and give a damn good promo, man. Shout out to the legends, man. So Randy tells Sami that he will be a world champion one day, but unfortunately it won't be at SummerSlam. Next week, So Randy starts off the match with Sammy on the announce table. He slams him onto the announce table. Sammy gets back in the ring, clotheslines Randy. Randy tries to sneak RKO Sammy, but Sammy's able to get out of the ring. Sammy then slams Randy Orton on the announce table. Randy counters the Alufa kick and slams Sammy. Sammy counters the RKO with a Blue Thunder, but Randy is able to kick out. Randy counters the Alufa kick and RKOs the shit out of Sami Zayn, and he wins this match. And, you know, shout out to Triple H, man. I think everybody wanted Randy Orton to win this match, but a lot of people thought that Sami Zayn was going to win the King of the Ring because supposedly the King of the Ring or the Night of Champions or whatever is supposed to take place in Saudi Arabia. And I've heard other YouTubers say that they think that's why Sami Zayn was going to win. But, I mean, you got to be a complete idiot to have Sami Zayn beat Randy Orton in a match ever, right? Let's just call it what it is, right? So next we have Nia Jax. She comes out and hits 2 nasty leg drops on Tiffany. Then Naomi tries to cash in the Money in the Bank, but Nia Jax stops her. Then Tiffany Stratton is able to hit Naomi from behind. Naomi clashes into Nia. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I can't wait for Tiffy Time to lose this belt. I don't think she ever should have been able to win that belt from Queen Nia Jax, who was a fucking legend. I love Nia Jax. But hopefully Jade Cargill can get that belt from Tiffany Stratton, because let's be honest, man, she's an idiot, right? It's Tiffy time. So anyway, next we got Charlotte Flair versus Chelsea Green. We already know that Flair's going to win this match because Chelsea Green is a complete fucking joke, right? She's a jobber. She lost her belt to Selena Vega. We already know Charlotte was going to win this match, right? Also, I want to say Charlotte Flair might have the flattest ass in WWE history. Let's talk about it. Let me know what you guys think about that. So Charlotte, she hits the figure 8 and beats Chelsea Green. But while she's doing the figure 8, Piper Niven's 300-pound fat ass jumps on top of Flair, and at first I thought she landed on Charlotte Flair's leg, which she already had surgery on. Remember, she had that injured knee or MCL, whatever it was that she fucked up. But when I saw the replay, she actually landed on Charlotte's stomach, right? So shout out to Piper Niven for landing on the right spot, because could you guys imagine if Piper Niven's fat ass would have landed on Charlotte Flair's leg? She would have probably had to retire, right? So Alexa Bliss comes out to help Charlotte and does the Sister Abigail on Piper Niven. Then Charlotte walks out without thanking Alexa Bliss, which I thought was, you know, a pretty old hag move, right? Like, Charlotte Flair just proves that she's an old hag. She's living in the past. You know what I'm saying? And this is why the fans don't really like Charlotte Flair, right? Like, her character is just this egotistical, you know, self-centered character that pretty much just gloats on all of her accomplishments, when right now it's obvious that she doesn't appear to be one of the top female stars in the company. The fans don't like her. You know, she was unable to win that championship from Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. And I just don't know where Charlotte Flair's character goes from here, man. So anyway, backstage, Jeff Corn on the Cob, aka JC Mateo, tells Solo that he wants to attack Jacob. Solo tells him he's going to talk to Jacob by himself, but be ready just in case things go left, right? So Solo calls out Jacob to pretty much foster beef. And Solo tells Jacob that he loves him. He says family fights all the time, but they're supposed to forgive each other and move forward. And Solo tells Jacob that nobody saw his potential but him, and he's the only one that wanted him in the WWE. And then he says he helped Jacob put food on the table for his family. And Solo says he doesn't have anybody else but Jacob. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man, this segment made a nigga tear up a little bit because, like, listen, we gotta give credit when it's due. Solo is very entertaining. He's very good at playing his character. And while he was giving this segment, bro, he really looked like he was serious and sincere, man. Like, he kept telling Jacob he loved him and he wants him back and he doesn't have anybody but him. And it was a very believable segment from Solo Sikoa, man. But unfortunately, man, Jacob wasn't going for it. He pretty much responded to Solo and said that Solo's been using him to gain power and fight his battles. Then he tells Solo to look at him while he's talking to him, because while he's talking to him, Solo's looking straight down. And then Jacob says ever since he won that U.S. title that Solo Sikoa has been acting different. So then he throws the title on the floor and says if that's what the issue is, you know, fight him for the U.S. title. So after Jacob says this, Solo tries to swing on him, but Jacob headbutts him. And then comes Jeff Corn on the Cob, a.k.a. JC Mateo. He comes out and him and Solo pretty much start jumping Jacob for 2. And then Jimmy Uso comes out. Samoan kicks Solo and JC Mateo, but Mateo, that kick really didn't affect JC Mateo at all. So JC Mateo pretty much starts beating up Jimmy, and then Solo tells Jimmy that he should have joined him and JC. And then Jacob attacks both of them from behind, and he's able to stop them from attacking Jimmy Uso. And I think that this means that we're pretty much going to get a tag team match between Solo and Mateo versus Jacob and Jimmy Uso, right? So next, we got Bronson Reed versus LA Knight. We start the match off with Braun Breaker spearing LA Knight, which ends the match in disqualification. I thought that shit was hilarious. Then Braun Breaker speared him for a second time. And then Bronson Reed tsunami splashed LA Knight 3 times in a row. So prayers up for LA Knight's ribs, man. Now I got a question for y'all, right? Just to point out the bad booking by Triple H, right? Why didn't Jey Uso come out to help LA Knight, right? We just saw LA Knight help Jey Uso. Why didn't Jey Uso come out and help LA Knight while Bronson Reed did 3 straight tsunami splashes on him? You know what I'm saying? Like, this just shows that Triple H doesn't know what he's doing, bro. You understand what I'm saying? So backstage, Jacob says that next week on SmackDown, he will be fighting Solo Sikoa for the U.S. title. I'm extremely excited about that. Obviously, I think Jacob is going to retain, but I wouldn't mad if Solo Sikoa won that belt, because I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. Solo Sikoa has all of the tools to be a champion, bro. I think he deserves to be a champion, and I do think he would be a better champion than Jacob Fatu. I think Jacob Fatu is more entertaining in the ring as far as his moves, but when it comes to the overall character and the entertaining part, the talking on the mic, Solo Sikoa would definitely be a better champion than Jey Uso and Jacob Fatu, right? So finally, we get to the main event, John Cena versus Ron Killings. And Cena pretty much grabs his title, leaves the ring after getting his ass whooped for Ron Killings. So Ron Killings comes out the ring and pretty much tries to stop Cena from leaving. Cena hits Truth with his title. The match gets disqualified. CM Punk then comes out to attack John. Cena hits Punk below the belt, then hits Punk in the head with the belt, which we've seen for the past 2 months straight, which is just getting fucking annoying to me. And then he goes under the ring to get a table with a goddamn Slim Jim logo on it. Like, TKO is just single-handedly destroying wrestling, guys. Like, all of these logos, all of these commercials, all of the bad booking, it's obvious that TKO is just a joke at this point, right? All they care about is money, right? So, Cena hits Punk in the head with the belt again. Then he AAs Punk onto the table. Cena grabs the mic and says before he retires in 6 months, he's got to get a lot off his chest. He says that he doesn't hate Punk, but he's not the best in the world. Cena says he's the GOAT, which we already know. He says Punk is better than him at one thing, and that's being the best bullshitter in the world. And I'm not going to lie, man. John Cena, this is the best part of John Cena's heel turn. He absolutely bodied this promo that he gave in the main event. He goes on to say that Truth is jealous of CM Punk. No, he says the truth is he's jealous of CM Punk, excuse me. And he says that he's jealous that CM Punk conned the fans into actually believing that he's the best in the world. He calls CM Punk a capitalist and then calls him Mr. TKO. Then he says in Saudi Arabia, he's going to prove that he's the GOAT. He already has. So I don't know why Cena said that. He's already proved he was the GOAT when he won that title and surpassed Ric Flair. And then he tells Punk to bring his A game because the mood is starting to change, right? So that's pretty much the end of the show. Like I said, this promo that Cena gave at the end of the show, it was hands down the best part of his heel turn. Everything else since John Cena has turned heel has been a complete joke. It's been boring. It's been forced. Doesn't look organic. And Cena is actually looking like a real heel at this point, man. But I want to ask you guys in the comment section, do you guys think that there's any chance that CM Punk actually wins this title at Night of Champions? I'm predicting John Cena to win because I think what's going to happen is, in my opinion, I think that Cody Rhodes is going to win the King of the Ring. And I think that he's going to get a title shot with John Cena before he officially retires. And I think that Cody Rhodes is going to eventually win that belt back. Now, it should be somebody like Jey Uso or Randy Orton, right? If I had to pick, I think Randy Orton or Jey Uso should be the person to win the King of the Ring. But just looking at how Triple H has booked matches since he's taken over, I 100% think that Cody Rhodes will win King of the Ring. I do think he's going to get back his title from John Cena, and then John Cena will sell off into the sunset and retire. So yeah, man, I give this episode of SmackDown a 7.5. Like I said, it was very star-studded. Everybody was on the show tonight. And it was a good match, man. It was a very solid SmackDown. I actually think that this episode of SmackDown last night was better than this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. So let me know what you guys think about that. It's your boy Wavy. I'll see you guys Monday. We're gonna do a Raw review on Monday, like always. Subscribe, thumbs up the video, and most importantly, share the video to your mama. I'm out.